It's difficult to analyze a debate where there is that much lying and the exchanges are so unusual and the candidates couldn't be more different. However, let's do this with some Manitobans who were watching last night, as was I. My next two guests might be young, but they are both well-seasoned debaters. Emily, Mann and Aiden Peters are members of the Youth Parliament of Manitoba, an organization that holds model parliamentary sessions where members debate one another on hot political topics. Emily's also captain of the Maples Collegiate Debate Club. Hi, Emily.
Hi.
And then Aiden is in studio as well. Hi, Aiden.
Hi.
You can hear I'm buzzing to get into this. So what did you think of the debate last night?
I think comparatively between the June debate between Trump and Biden and the debate last night, it's definitely less childish, which was really nice to see. We actually got a lot of nice clash that wasn't just them calling each other clowns or talking about golf.
Yeah. So you could hear some substance in it overall in terms of policy positions, things like that. Yeah. What was your first impression after you watched last night, Aiden?
My first impression was pretty much the same. I thought it was a lot more civil than previous debates, especially that we see Donald Trump in. And I think that the moderators had a really good control over the debate and were very quick to fact check compared to previous debates.
Why did you want to watch in the first place?
Well, I wanted to watch because I think this is an issue that affects us all. America is our biggest trade partner. America is the country we share the biggest border with. America is like our biggest cultural importer and exporter. And what happens in America is going to affect us here, whether it be jobs, whether it be tariffs, whether it be like anything. America, we are so ingrained with them.
And how about you, Emily? Why did you want to watch last night?
Well, the United States of America holds a great model for how a lot of our own countries can be run. Some of the topics that were discussed last night are topics that Canadians that we're worried about in the upcoming election.
Can I stop you there? Well, tell me which ones you're thinking of when you say some of the topics, you know, we should be leaning into because you're worried about them here too.
Well, I think a lot of what we see on social media right now is a great opposition towards Trudeau. So we might have a conservative government next year. So I know at least people my age are definitely really worried about immigration and especially abortion. It might not be that big of a problem here, but who knows, maybe somewhere down the line, because we're so closely related with the United States, that might be a future for young women and people that can carry children somewhere down in the future.
We just heard that, obviously, the exchange about some of those details last night. What were some of the standout moments for you last night, Aiden? What'd you cringe at or remark at or lean into to want to know more? What were some of the standout moments?
This isn't a particular moment, but I saw Trump softening his stance on a lot of issues, and I think that's because he's starting to realize he's becoming the political loser here. And you saw it with something like abortion. He was no longer saying, oh, abortions shouldn't be allowed. He was starting to say, oh, the people should get to choose, and we should make states go vote. Other standout moments for me were just like the blatant lies and antagonisms from Trump still. Saying things like immigrants were eating dogs and cats, saying things like they were killing babies after they were born. Those were some huge standout moments for me.
Yeah, he didn't give a clear answer on whether or not he will put in a federal ban on abortion, which is in his plan 2025, and that's what he was pressed on that clip. That he didn't clearly answer that. He put it state to state as it is. How about for you? What were the standout moments, Emily?
I'll definitely agree with that first point that Aiden made. I think that Kamala had really stood out when she was talking about her own policies. While they were still a little bit vague, and for certain points, I'm still not entirely sure where she stands on that, just because of the vague language she uses. Trump definitely has a platform of just being opposite whatever Kamala says, which is really interesting when you're trying to stand your own ground on a debate stage. A little disappointing, but you can't expect way too much from him right now.
I was going to ask you how you would describe the debating styles of each of the candidates last night, but knowing a little bit about debating, Donald Trump didn't really debate because it's hard. It's hard. Debates are supposed to be all about sort of outlining something and bringing, backing up with facts. So I found it difficult to sort of analyze because there were a lot of lies last night. I don't know about the two of you in terms of trying to follow this as a debate.
I even found that it's not even just the lies. I found that Trump is just hard to follow. He strings together buzzwords, and it's just like abortion this, fracking this, illegal aliens that, and it becomes this tornado of just buzzwords, and it's gobbledygook. It's not debate. It's not really anything. It's just some old person stringing together words.
What could they have learned from the two of you in terms of your experience debating? You were saying you were waiting for more substance.
Yeah, I have to agree on that point as well. I feel like when I'm listening to Trump speak, I'm like walking through a tornado and things are just flying at me as they come. I also found it extremely hard to follow his speech patterns and what he was going to bring up next, because he would finish a point and then bring something new in. I found that he couldn't really use his time effectively because he would constantly interject, or when it was his turn to speak, he wouldn't be speaking on the current issue or topic at hand. He would be going back to what was said previously and bringing it back just so he can get his last punches in. But honestly, I don't think it would be that worth listening to the ones that he keeps bringing back, because if you can't use your time effectively, then what does it really matter? I think he could really benefit from, if he's going to go on a trail of multiple things at once that are similar, he could really signpost, which is a technique in debate that we use, where you're clearly stating your points and then you go through them in order.
Thank you both for being in here. Really great analysis this morning from two young people who give me hope for the future. We'll have you back sometime soon. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. That's Emily, Mann and Aiden Peters, and members of the Youth Parliament of Manitoba, analyzing last night's presidential debate that happened down south.